Hello everyone, in this video let us learn about the industrial production of beer. Beer is a non-distilled alcohol which is usually produced from a partially germinated barley grains. These partially germinated barley grains are called as malt. There are different types of beers which includes ales, lagers and stouts. Ales and stouts are usually produced from top fermenting yeast and lagers are usually produced from bottom fermenting yeast. Now what is top fermenting yeast and bottom fermenting yeast? We will be seeing in this video further. Beer usually will contain 3 to 8% of alcohol in it. There are various steps that are involved in the production of beer. The 4 steps that are involved in beer brewing is malting, mashing and oat preparation, yeast fermentation and post fermentation. Now post fermentation here means aging. Moving into the first step, that is malting. The barley grains after harvested, it will be cleaned and later it will be sorted. Now the sorting of barley grains is done by a sieving process. During sieving, the large, medium and small size barley grains will be sorted, wherein the large and medium sized barley will be selected for the production of beer. The large and medium sized barley grains will be first soaked in water at 12 to 15 degrees Celsius for about 2 to 3 days. So when we do this soaking process, at home also you would have noticed when the grains are soaked for few minutes, they become softened. So why is the softening process happening is because the enzymes that are being present in the grains will get activated and they will start breaking down the starch and proteins that are present in the cotyledons. The stored starch and proteins that are present in the cotyledon will be broken down into simple sugars. So these simple sugars will be utilized by the embryo to germinate. So this is the process that usually happens. So here why we have to germinate is to activate the enzymes. These enzymes that are being activated will break down the complex starch material into simple sugars. So it makes it readily available. The sugars will be readily available for the yeast to ferment during fermentation process. So therefore, partial germination of barley grains has to be done. Once it is being partially germinated, it has to be immediately, the enzymes has to be immediately inactivated because we don't want the complete germination to take place. During complete germination, what happens? All the starch that is being present will be converted to sugar and it will be utilized completely by the embryo itself. So to avoid that, the enzyme has to be inactivated. So to inactivate the enzyme, the barley grains will be subjected to higher temperature. First, the grains will be dried at about 92 degrees Celsius and later it will be roasted and curing of the malt will be done at about 80 degrees Celsius for about 5 hours. So when this is done, the enzymes will get inactivated. Once the malt enzymes are inactivated, the malt that is being present is taken and it is ground into coarse flour. This coarse flour is subjected for a next step called as mashing. Now mashing is a process where the cereal grist or the flour that is being present is mixed with hot water. Now why is it mixed with hot water? Is to extract the sugars that are present in the flour. So once it is mixed with hot water, the hot water is going to extract all the sugars that are present in the barley grain. So all the sugars will be extracted into the water and this liquid we call it as a sweet oat. The product that is being formed after mashing is called as a sweet oat. Now before mashing there is one more step that is involved. Once the grinding is being done, once the malt is ground into coarse flour, sometimes unmalted barley grains are added into it. It is soaked and it is added into it directly before germination. Now that we call it as adjunct. The unmalted barley which is being added into the flour after grinding is called as adjunct. Now why do we add adjunct is the flour might also have some amount of starch. So when you add this soaked barley in the water, then what happens into the flour which is having a water. Now this water initially is not hot. So once it is added, what will happen is these adjunct will have certain enzymes which will get activated, which will break down more starch if they are present into simple sugars. To extract all the sugars, adjunct is usually added. After which it is being boiled. It is being boiled to extract the sugars. Okay, and the liquid what we get is called as sweet oat. Now the sweet oat is filtered, the oat is filtered to remove if there are any seed particle or if there are any seed core that is being present in the flour. So to remove all the suspended particles, filtration of the oat will be carried out. So after the oat is being filtered, or this process we call it as lautering, where the filtration of the oat will take place. After the oat is filtered, the oat is taken for is being pre-treated. So oat is boiled. The oat that we get, or the sweet oat that we get is boiled, and during boiling something called as hops is added to this. Now hops is a plant cone. It's a female cone which is produced by a plant known as Humulus lupulus. Now this hops will have some amount of acids in it, alpha acids and beta acids in it, which will add flavor to the beer. Hops is the one which gives flavor to the beer. Now these acids that are there are alpha acids and beta acids, which are called as humulones and lipulones respectively. Alpha acids are called as humulones and beta acids are called as lipulones, which is going to add flavor to the beer, and it also adds slight bitterness to the beer. So therefore hops are added into the beer, which is a very important component for the production of beer. Now why do we have to boil the oat is because the enzymes that are there, once we have added the adjunct, enzymes would have got inactivated. So to inactivate the enzymes, we have to boil the oat. Sterilization of the oat will take place to kill different organism or the unwanted organism that is being present in the oat. It is a form of sterilization process, so therefore boiling of oat will happen. It will also break the proteins. If there are any proteins which are in the coagulating form, it breaks those proteins. And hops, when it is added during boiling, it will add flavor to the beer. Therefore hops are being added. So this is why boiling of the oat is very important. Later the oat is cooled, and the cooled oat is taken for fermentation. After cooling the oat is ready for fermentation, and it is moved into the fermenter tank, where in the fermenter tank brewer's yeast is usually inoculated into the cold oat. Why brewer's yeast is nothing but Saccharomyces cerevisiae. Now for ale production, Saccharomyces cerevisiae is inoculated as it is a top fermenting yeast. Even for stout production, Saccharomyces cerevisiae is inoculated as it settles. Saccharomyces cerevisiae settles on the top of the liquid and starts fermenting. And for lager production, Saccharomyces uvarum is inoculated. During the fermentation process, we all know that the biochemistry is very simple. We have seen the biochemistry even in wine production, where the glucose that is being there will go for glycolytic pathway, where pyruvate is being produced, and the pyruvate is decarboxylated. So a carbon dioxide is being released from the pyruvate molecule by an enzyme, pyruvate decarboxylase. So therefore carbon dioxide is evolved during fermentation, which is usually utilized for the carbonation of the beer. We get carbonated beers in market. So carbon dioxide that is evolved is usually used for the carbonation of beer. Once the fermentation is done, the yeast cells will settle down. So the sedimentation process will take place. After fermentation, the contents are sedimented for the clarification process. So all the yeast cells will settle down. So the beer that is obtained is usually called as green beer. The supernatant that we obtain after sedimentation is called as green beer, which is subjected to another storage tank. It has been shifted to another storage tank, which will be having a temperature of 0 to 2 degrees Celsius. Now the time period that is required for beer production is about 10 to 12 days. Now this once the green beer is produced, it is sedimented and supernatant is shifted into another storage tank, and this process we call it as passing, where the beer is stored at 0 to 2 degrees Celsius. Now why are we reducing the temperature here from 0 to 2 degrees Celsius is to avoid the yeast to undergo a secondary fermentation. We don't want the beer to undergo a secondary fermentation. So therefore it is stored at 0 to 12 degrees Celsius. So you can notice here beer is a non-distilled alcohol. So therefore during distillation, here we are not distilling the beer. So therefore yeast cells will not be killed, or pasteurization also we are not doing. So therefore yeast cells will still be present. To avoid secondary fermentation, the beer will be usually stored at 0 to 2 degrees Celsius. This process is called as fassing. If we look in, if we see the inoculum, as I told you, inoculum is yeast. Saccharomyces cerevisiae is usually used as an inoculum, wherein it will be pumped into the fermenter tank through the inoculation port, and this process is called as pitching. Pitching is the method of inoculation, and usually if it is a first batch of beer production, then fresh yeast will be used. But later, if we have to produce a second batch or a third batch or a fourth batch, then the yeast that is being obtained from the first batch will be used as an inoculum in the second, third or fourth batch, and this we call it as spent yeast or secondary yeast. So secondary yeast that is being produced from the previous batch can be used as an inoculum as well in beer production for the future batches. So these are the various fermenters that are used for beer production. The most common fermenter that is used for beer production is tower fermenter. Tower fermenters are usually used for beer production. Once beer is being produced, these beers are kept in white oak barrels or wooden vats for the aging process to take place, wherein the beer is going to react with the wood, wherein the wood will produce some amount of tannins and esters which will add flavor into the beer. So therefore, aging is usually carried out in white oak wooden barrels at a temperature of 0 degree Celsius. Now during this process, clarification also will be done, and yeast will be killed because of some tannins and esters that are being produced from the white oak barrel. Now this killing, when I say, it's not complete sterilization, some amount of yeast cells will die. Now the hops are also added during aging, so that the flavor of the beer is increased. So hops are also added. Secondary fermentation is done if required as a part of aging to make beer fully carbonated. So after aging process, the temperature will be increased so that if there are any yeast cells that will undergo a secondary, they will carry out a secondary fermentation which helps in the carbonation of the beer. After the beer is being aged, now aging will occur for years together. Sometimes it happens for 10 months or 1 year or 2 years, but it will not go to years like it will not be aged for about 15 years or 20 years like we do for wine. After which the beer that is being obtained will be pasteurized at 60 degrees Celsius for about 30 minutes, and it is bottled and it is sold. So that is all about the beer production. Biochemistry I had previously explained, wherein the grains will have some amount of sugars in it like glucose, which will be broken down into pyruvate by a glycolytic pathway, and later this pyruvate will be decarboxylated to acetaldehyde. A carbon dioxide molecule will be removed by the pyruvate to convert into acetaldehyde. The enzyme involved is pyruvate decarboxylase, and the acetaldehyde will be reduced to ethanol. So alcohol is produced this way, and this alcohol will be present in the beer. That is all about beer production. Thank you all.